Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell y'all something. Success ain't just about talent. It ain't just about luck. And it sure ain't about waiting for somebody to hand it to you. Success comes to those who think right, act right, and believe right. It starts with your attitude. See, life is like a mirror. It reflects what you put out. You walk around with negativity, complaining about what you ain't got, always seeing the problem instead of the possibility. Guess what? Life is gonna hand you more problems. But when you wake up and say, I don't care what happened yesterday, today is a new day and I'm gonna make it count. Oh, trust me, things start changing. Your attitude shapes your reality in ways you might not even realize. Every single day, from the moment you wake up, the way you think, the way you react, and the energy you put out into the world determine what you get back. Life doesn't just happen to you. You attract what you believe in, what you focus on, and what you expect. If you wake up dreading the day, feeling like nothing good ever happens for you and expecting things to go wrong, chances are they will. But if you start your day with a mindset of gratitude, confidence, and expectation of good things, you'll find yourself drawing more opportunities, more joy, and more success into your life. Think about two people given the same challenge. One person sees it as a burden, something unfair, something they don't have the energy to deal with. The other sees it as a stepping stone, a chance to grow, an opportunity to prove something to themselves. The situation is the same, the only difference is the attitude. And guess what? The person with the positive attitude is not only going to push through, but they'll probably come out stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the next level. The person who only sees obstacles will stay stuck because they've already decided that life is against them. Your attitude is the filter through which you see the world. Change the filter and the world starts to look different. There are people who grew up in worse circumstances than you, with less money, fewer resources, and more struggles. Yet somehow they made it. Why? Because they refused to let a negative attitude dictate their future. They believed that something greater was possible for them. They focused on what they could control instead of what they couldn't. They didn't waste time blaming their past, their parents, or their environment. They took charge of their own mindset and used it as fuel to push forward. Your thoughts are like seeds. Whatever you plant in your mind will grow. If you plant doubt, fear, and negativity, don't be surprised when that's all you see in your life. But if you plant confidence, gratitude, and determination, success starts to bloom. It may not happen overnight, but just like a seed needs time to grow into a tree, your positive mindset will, over time, transform your reality. Have you ever noticed how people with a negative mindset always seem to have problems? It's like trouble follows them wherever they go. But it's not that life is harder for them, it's that their mindset keeps them trapped in the same cycle. They expect problems, so they find them. They expect people to betray them, so they focus on the bad in others. They expect failure, so they never fully commit to anything. But those with a winning mindset, they see challenges as temporary. They see setbacks as setups for comebacks. They look at failure as a lesson instead of a loss. There will always be things in life that are out of your control. People will disappoint you. Plans will fall apart. Unexpected problems will show up. But your attitude, that's on you. You control how you respond to life. And that response determines what happens next. If you get bitter, if you give up, if you start believing that nothing ever works out for you, you create a cycle of negativity that's hard to break. But if you choose to keep pushing, if you choose to find something good in every situation, if you choose to believe that everything is working for your good, you shift your reality in ways you can't even imagine. Your energy is powerful. Walk into a room with confidence, and people respond to you differently. Approach a challenge with determination, and you'll find solutions you never saw before. Speak life into your dreams, and opportunities will start showing up where you least expect them. It all starts with your mindset, your energy, your attitude. Successful people focus on solutions, not problems. The difference between those who achieve great things and those who stay stuck isn't the absence of obstacles, it's how they respond to them. Life will always throw challenges your way. That's a guarantee. But the people who win in life are the ones who don't let problems define them. They don't waste time complaining about what went wrong or who's to blame. Instead, they ask themselves, what can I do to fix this? How do I move forward? When you focus on problems, all you see is what's wrong. You replay the same negative scenarios in your head, talk about them to everyone around you, and allow them to take up all your mental space. The more you focus on what's wrong, the bigger the problem starts to feel. But when you shift your mindset to solutions, you start thinking differently. Instead of dwelling on the issue, you start looking for ways to overcome it. Your brain gets to work finding answers instead of excuses. There are two types of people in this world. One sees a problem and stops in their tracks. They throw their hands up and say, well, I guess this isn't meant to be. The other sees the same problem and starts looking for a way around it, under it, over it, whatever it takes. They don't let obstacles stop them. They use them as fuel to push harder. It's not that successful people never face hardships. It's that they refuse to let those hardships control their future. Imagine two employees working for the same company. One of them constantly complains about their boss, their workload, and how unfair everything is. The other notices the same issues, but instead of complaining, they find ways to improve things. They learn new skills, take on new challenges, and figure out how to make themselves more valuable. Eventually, when an opportunity for a promotion comes up, who do you think gets it? It's always the person who focuses on solutions, not the one who spends all their time talking about the problem. Your mind is a powerful tool, and what you feed it matters. If you fill it with negativity, frustration, and complaints, that's all you'll ever see. But when you train yourself to look for solutions, you start seeing opportunities where others see dead ends. You start thinking creatively, pushing past limitations, and developing a mindset that makes success inevitable. Think about every great invention, business, or breakthrough in history. Airplanes exist because someone refused to accept that humans couldn't fly. Smartphones exist because someone saw a problem with communication and found a way to make it easier. Every successful person you admire got where they are because they focused on solutions instead of being paralyzed by problems. Some people will argue that they just have bad luck, that life is harder for them, that things never seem to go their way. But the truth is, everyone faces struggles. The only difference is in how you handle them. The people who get ahead are the ones who take responsibility for their circumstances. They don't sit around waiting for someone to fix their situation. They step up and figure out a way to make things better. Challenges are a part of life, but they don't have to define you. If you constantly focus on what's going wrong, you'll never move forward. But the moment you start shifting your mindset, looking for solutions, and taking action, you put yourself in a position to win. You become the kind of person who turns problems into stepping stones, setbacks into lessons, and obstacles into opportunities. Your mindset controls your destiny. Everything you achieve or don't achieve in life starts with how you think. The thoughts you entertain, the beliefs you hold, and the way you see yourself all play a role in shaping your future. Success isn't just about talent, luck, or resources. It's about having the right mindset to push through challenges, take advantage of opportunities, and keep going even when things get tough. People who succeed don't necessarily have easier lives or fewer struggles. They just think differently. They believe that they are capable of more, that their hard work will pay off, and their setbacks are temporary. They don't let fear or doubt take over their minds. They train themselves to think in a way that attracts success. They expect great things, and because of that expectation, they put in the work to make those things happen. On the other hand, people who struggle the most often have a mindset that keeps them stuck. They focus on what they lack, what they can't do, and what's holding them back. They talk themselves out of opportunities before they even try. They allow past failures to dictate their future. Instead of believing they can improve, they convince themselves that success is for other people, not for them. What they don't realize is that their mindset is the very thing keeping them from moving forward. Your mind is powerful, and it listens to everything you tell it. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, that you'll never be successful, that you're not as talented as others, your brain will find ways to make those statements true. But if you start speaking confidence into yourself, if you remind yourself daily that you are capable, that you are learning, that you are growing, you will start to see those things show up in your life. Every successful person has moments of doubt, fear, and failure. But what separates them from the rest is that they refuse to let those moments define them. They pushed through because they had a mindset that told them quitting was not an option. They saw failure as a lesson, not an identity. They used every obstacle as a stepping stone instead of a reason to stop trying. That mindset is what carried them to success. Your environment, your background, and your circumstances might shape your starting point, but they do not determine your future. The only thing that truly determines where you end up is how you think. If you have a growth mindset, you will always find a way to learn, improve, and move forward. If you have a fixed mindset, you will always find an excuse for why things aren't working out. The choice is yours. Every day you have the opportunity to train your mind for success. You can choose to fill it with positive, empowering thoughts or let negativity and doubt take over. You can decide to focus on possibilities instead of limitations. You can teach yourself to see opportunities instead of obstacles. It won't always be easy, and it won't happen overnight, but the more you practice, the stronger your mindset becomes. The people who achieve the highest levels of success understand that mindset is everything. They don't waste time blaming others, complaining about their situation, or waiting for someone to rescue them. They take control of their thoughts, their actions, and their future. They understand that success starts in the mind long before it ever shows up in reality. They believe in themselves even when no one else does. They push through challenges with the confidence that they are capable of more. They know that their destiny is in their own hands, and they refuse to let a negative mindset take that away from them. Speak positivity into your life because your words have power. The things you say about yourself, your dreams, and your future shape the reality you experience. Every time you open your mouth, you are either building yourself up or tearing yourself down. You are either speaking life or speaking defeat. What you declare about yourself becomes the foundation for what you believe, and what you believe determines the actions you take. People who succeed in life don't just hope for the best. They speak it into existence. They wake up every morning and declare that they are capable, strong, and prepared for whatever the day brings. They don't allow negative self-talk to take over their minds. They replace doubt with confidence, fear with faith, and frustration with determination. They understand that their words are not just sounds, but seeds that plant the future they want to see. When you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, that you'll never be successful, or that life is unfair, you start to believe it. Your brain looks for evidence to support those statements, and before you know it, you've created a reality where those things are true. But when you wake up and say, I am talented, I am capable, I am built for success, your mind starts to work in your favor. You walk differently, you think differently, and you attract different opportunities. Look at the people who always seem to be struggling, always stuck in the same cycle, always talking about how life never gives them a break. They don't realize that they are keeping themselves trapped with their own words. They complain about how hard things are, how they don't have what it takes, how things never go their way. And because that's all they ever focus on, that's all they ever get, they don't speak life into their situation, so nothing changes. Then look at the people who always seem to find a way forward. No matter how many times they get knocked down, they get back up. They don't waste time talking about the problem. They speak solutions. They don't dwell on what went wrong. They declare that something better is coming. Even when life gets tough, they say, this is just temporary, I am learning, I am growing, my breakthrough is coming. And because they keep speaking it, they keep believing it, and because they believe it, they take the actions that lead to success. Your words create the energy around you. When you constantly speak about your struggles, you stay in a struggle mindset. When you declare that you are a winner, that nothing can stop you, that you are moving forward no matter what, you start to live like it. It doesn't mean life will be perfect, but it means that no matter what comes your way, you will always be prepared to handle it. People will try to put doubt in your mind. They will tell you that your dreams are too big, that success is only for certain people, that you should be realistic. But the most powerful voice in your life is your own. If you keep telling yourself that you are going to win, that you are going to achieve great things, that you are worthy of success, then nothing anyone says can stop you. You have the ability to shift your future just by changing the way you talk about yourself. Every morning is a chance to choose your words wisely. Instead of saying, I hope things get better, start saying, instead of saying, I wish I could be successful, say, I am successful. Instead of saying, maybe one day my dreams will come true, say, my dreams are already in motion. The way you talk about your life matters. And the moment you start speaking with confidence, you will see a shift in everything around you. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Life is full of unexpected challenges, failures, and disappointments, but the way you respond to them determines whether you stay down or rise up stronger than before. People who achieve great things don't have an easier path, they just refuse to let setbacks define them. They understand that failure is not the end, it's just part of the process. When something doesn't go as planned, most people get discouraged, frustrated, or even give up. They take failure personally, as if it's a sign that they're not good enough, or that success isn't meant for them. But successful people see setbacks differently. They see them as lessons, opportunities to grow, and chances to come back even better than before. Instead of feeling sorry for themselves, they ask, what can I learn from this? How can I turn this around? That shift in perspective changes everything. Some of the most successful people in the world have faced major setbacks. They've lost businesses, been rejected countless times, and gone through hardships that would make most people quit. But instead of letting those failures stop them, they used them as motivation. They didn't see failure as the opposite of success. They saw it as a stepping stone toward it. Every setback gave them more wisdom, more experience, and more resilience to keep going. Think about athletes who lose a big game. The ones who stay stuck in disappointment never make it to the top, but the ones who use that loss as fuel, who train harder, study their mistakes, and come back stronger are the ones who eventually win championships. The same principle applies to life. A setback is only permanent if you let it be. If you treat it as a learning experience, it becomes the very thing that prepares you for a breakthrough. The problem is, most people are afraid of failure. They avoid risks, play it safe, and never push themselves beyond their comfort zone because they don't want to experience setbacks. But avoiding failure means avoiding growth. The people who accomplish the most are the ones who take chances, knowing that failure is a possibility, but success is worth the risk. They understand that every setback carries a lesson that will help them in the long run. When you go through something difficult, you have two choices. You can let it break you, or you can let it build you. You can let it be the reason you quit, or you can let it be the reason you go harder. People who keep moving forward, even after failure, are the ones who eventually succeed. They don't allow temporary defeat to turn into a permanent mindset. They remind themselves that every great comeback starts with a setback, no matter what has happened in your past. No matter how many times you failed, and no matter how impossible things might seem, there is always a way to turn things around. Some of the most inspiring success stories come from people who went through the lowest points in their lives before they finally broke through. They lost everything, got rejected, faced failure after failure, but they never stopped believing that something better was ahead. They used their setbacks as fuel, knowing that as long as they kept going, their moment would come. Every time you get knocked down, remind yourself that this is not the end of your story. Every failure is a setup for something greater. Every challenge is preparing you for the success that's waiting ahead. If you refuse to quit, if you refuse to stay down, if you use every setback as motivation to push harder, there is no limit to what you can achieve. The people you surround yourself with will either push you toward success or pull you away from it. The energy, mindset, and habits of those around you have a direct impact on your own growth. If you spend your time with people who constantly complain, make excuses, and settle for less, you will start to adopt the same attitude. But if you surround yourself with winners, people who think big, take action, and refuse to let obstacles stop them, you will begin to rise to that level. Successful people are intentional about who they let into their circle. They don't waste time with negativity, drama, or small-minded thinking. They seek out relationships that inspire them, challenge them, and push them to be better. They understand that if they want to keep growing, they need to be around people who are also growing. If you are always the smartest, most ambitious person in the room, you are in the wrong room. Growth happens when you are surrounded by people who elevate you, not people who hold you back. Look at the 5 people you spend the most time with. Their mindset, habits, and attitudes are shaping you more than you realize. If they are always complaining about life, blaming others for their problems, and making excuses for why they can't succeed, that energy will rub off on you. But if they are always talking about ideas, setting goals, and finding solutions, that energy will push you to do the same. Your environment plays a huge role in your success, and the people you allow into your space are a major part of that environment. Negative people drain your energy and keep you stuck in the same cycle. They will tell you that your dreams are unrealistic, that you should play it safe, that success is too hard. They don't do this because they are bad people. They do it because they have limited beliefs about what is possible. But just because they see limits doesn't mean you have to. The biggest mistake you can make is letting small-minded people talk you out of big dreams. If someone has never done what you're trying to do, they have no business telling you that it can't be done. When you start leveling up, not everyone will be happy about it. Some people will try to bring you back down because your growth makes them uncomfortable. They liked you better when you were on their level, complaining about the same problems, making the same excuses. But the truth is, not everyone is meant to go with you to the next level. Sometimes, success requires you to outgrow certain relationships. It doesn't mean you don't care about them. It just means you are focused on becoming the best version of yourself. Winners support winners. People who are truly confident and successful don't tear others down. They lift them up. They celebrate success. They share knowledge. They push each other to be better. If you want to be great, surround yourself with people who are doing great things. Find mentors who have already achieved what you want to achieve. Build relationships with people who inspire you to work harder and dream bigger. Create an environment where growth is the standard, not the exception. If you want to change your life, start by changing your circle. Pay attention to the conversations you're having, the energy you're absorbing, and the mindset you're adopting from the people around you. Protect your space from negativity, from doubt, from small thinking. Seek out people who challenge you to be better, who push you towards your goals, who believe in your potential. The people you surround yourself with will either push you towards success or pull you away from it. Choose wisely.